Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to the SAP MDG demo. Hope you all are able to listen to me and can see my screen. Can anyone confirm?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So before getting into the demo, let me introduce myself. Myself Venkat, and this is my portfolio. I do have around 14 plus years of experience in SAP. I worked on various areas like ABAP, WebDem, ProBAP, FPM, and since last 7 years, I've been working on MDG. I started my MDG career as a product developer at Ethiopia, and then I work for various implementation, support, rollout, upgradation projects. Currently, I'm working for one of the top MNCs in India as a technical architect, and I had teaching experience in the initial days of my career. I worked as a lecturer for one of the MCA PG colleges for around 2.5 years, and then due to some financial situation, so I had to switch on to SAP. And I am a certified consultant as for HANA 1909 MDG, and so far around 10 batches are completed for my MDG training, and I started my MDG training in the month of February 2020 because teaching is my passion, and yours would be the 11th, not 11th, 12th batch. 11th batch is going on in the evening. It's not yet completed. So it's just a brief introduction about me. And coming to today's demo, so the agenda for today is to give you some high level understanding. Sorry. The agenda of today's demo is to give you some high level understanding about MDG. What is MDG and why MDG came into the picture? What all are advantages we do have in implementing MDG? And then we'll have a walkthrough of the course curriculum. What are the topics we are going to cover and the course pattern? Also, what are the prerequisites that you can learn, that you need to have to learn MDG? And we will see the walkthrough of our learning platform. This is our learning platform, Google Classroom. We'll have a walkthrough of the Google Class learning platform, and then I will take up the questions. So before getting into the MDG introduction, can has any questions?
Hi, Venkat. Wanted to understand how is the market for MDG?
Yeah, I'll address all those things. Okay, so let's get into understanding of MDG. First, we will understand what is a master data. So for this, I'm taking an example of an iPhone, which is sold by maybe Amazon or Flipkart or whatever it might be. I'll take a simple example. So let's say there is an iPhone 12 Pro Max listed by some seller on Amazon of blue color with 256 GB variant as 1 lakh INR. So this is the selling price. Now, even though the seller listed the mobile, if there are no customers, then either Amazon or seller cannot be able to make the revenue out of that. So let's say they found around 1,000 customers, meaning 1,000 customers purchased this mobile. So if we calculate the gross, it would come around 10 crores. Now, this 10 crore is neither profit, okay, nor the principal. So out of this 10 crore, let's say they make a profit of around 2 crores. Let's assume that. This is the profit, and this will be shared by both the seller and Amazon, because the seller is using the Amazon as a platform to sell their products. They have to pay some commission or whatever it may be out of the total revenue. Okay. Now, let's say there is an error in the pricing product listing. Instead of 1 lakh INR, the product is listed with the price 60,000. What is the difference? 40K. 40K for one product, meaning for one mobile. Now, let's assume the same transaction, 1,000 customers purchased this mobile, and this time they won't make 10 crores, they make 6 crores. So when I say here 2 crores is the profit, what is the actual price? 8 crores. Now here they not even got their actual price. They are in the loss of 2 crores. Okay, but overall it would be 4 crores. Apart from the profit, they are still in the loss of 2 crores. So who has to bear this? Amazon will never be responsible for these kind of losses. Completely on the seller. Amazon is responsible only for the profits, as far as I am aware of. Now here in this transaction, what is the major data error? The price. The data error occurred at the pricing. That's why there is a huge loss. Now, just imagine there is another case. Okay. The color has been updated as maybe the gray. Okay. So here there are two things. Each product will be having its own ID, product ID, SKU ID, something. And that product ID, when the seller or whoever, so they enter that product ID, it gives the details like the inventory details, in which rack and in which shelf that product is available, all those things from the warehouse. Now, at the inventory level or warehouse level, the product is available or is referring to blue colored one. But when they are listing that mobile in the portal while entering the details and everything, instead of blue color, let's say by mistakenly they updated it as a gray color. Now, if customer would like to purchase a mobile, we don't know what is there, what is that actually referring to inside the in the warehouse. For us, only the display properties matter. Now I can see as a customer, the product is of gray color and 256 GB variant. Maybe I like it and I made a purchase. Now, when the item is delivered to the customer don't like it because customer ordered gray color but delivered blue color because the actual warehouse stock is representing to the blue color. Now what customer will do? Customer will return the product to Amazon, asking for the replacement of the correct item. Now what Amazon does is they contact the seller and seller analyze this issue, and they realize that okay, the database is referring to the correct one only, but the listing has the wrong information. Then they correct that listing from gray to blue and also dispatch the blue colored one to the customer. Sorry, the actual gray colored one to the customer because the customer is expecting gray color. Now here also in this transaction also, there is a data error at color. But is the loss is similar to the earlier case? Definitely big no. Here the loss was huge, around 2 crores, and they couldn't make any profit, another 2 crores. Total it would be 4 crores. But in the second case, the loss is not like that. The loss is very minimal. What is the loss for them? Just the shipping charges. It would be hardly in hundreds. Okay. So even though the data has some errors, the impact may not be the same. The impact depends on the data item, or the property, or the field where the data error occurs. That defines the impact. But whatever is the error, error is the error. We have to agree. The severity differs. Is it a low severity, or medium, or high, or severe, complex? So that depends from scenario to scenario. Now here in this entire transaction, what kinds of data that we can see? Here we can see various types of data. First one, seller. And next one, customer. And next, the product, mobile. If you take seller, what are the properties seller can have? Seller will be having some ID number and name. I'm not good at the writing here, don't mind. And the date of birth, obviously. Gender. And a seller will be having the mobile number, email address, and the residential address, as well as the office address, etc. Now, customer also will be having the ID, name, date of birth, gender, mobile number, email address, residential address, and they will be having additionally shipping address and billing address, etc. And mobile is having the SKU ID, product ID, and type of the product, brand, maybe the model, color, price, etc. So here, each type of data has its own properties. Everything is not having the similar properties. Now, once these three data is available, then only the actual transactions by the customers can happen. If you don't have the seller account, seller cannot list the mobiles. If seller is registered, but seller don't have any products to list, then there won't be any products. Another case, seller is registered, product is displayed or listed, but if no customer purchase that one, then seller can't make any revenue. So that is the reason, if either of these three are missing, then the business cannot make any revenue out of that. It's just idle. That's it. Simple. Now, once these three are successfully available without any errors, we had seen two scenarios in the just now. One was with the pricing error, one was with the color error. In both the cases, data error was there, and in both the cases, there was a loss, but the impact was different. the transactions will get affected. Okay, if the same thing repeats like multiple times, obviously the product would get the less rating. You, ideally, when we are purchasing any product, or when we want to go to any place or any restaurant, or when we want to stay at any hotel, ideally what we do, everyone, we look for the ratings. Even though the rating is 5 4, likewise overall rating, we see the reviews also, because we need to understand whether those are the genuine reviews or not. Mostly by looking at the reviews, we can see whether they are genuine reviews or not by reading out simply. If there are only 4 5 people give the 5 rating, and overall it has only 4 5 ratings, then obviously there is a chance that it can be a fake review, but always not. But there is a possibility. Maybe less number of people only bought that. That also another scenario. So likewise, we look at all the product ratings, reviews, everything. And if the same errors occurs, like for 1,000 out of 1,000 people, if 800 people got the incorrect mobile, obviously they give like product is good, functionality is good, performance is good, but we did not receive the ordered product as per the listing initially. That's why we are giving one less rating. Something like that, people used to give the negative reviews. So on a average, it reduces the overall rating also. So always it's not like when there is a data error, there is a direct impact. Not like that. There can be indirect impact also, like this. So that's why we have to be very careful while maintaining the data in the system. Now, once these three data are maintained in the system, then the customers can make the transactions by purchasing the mobile. Okay. So when they purchase the mobiles, the sales orders will be generated and the POs will be generated and the billing invoice will be generated, and once invoice is generated, then the shipping will be initiated, and once the shipping is initiated, then the delivery will happen, then the final order confirmation. Once it is delivered, the order will be closed. So these are the various documents get generated in the background when a customer make the transaction. So here you take any of these things, these do not exist if either of these three are missing. Okay, just think about this scenario. There might be other scenarios where other people might be involved. Okay, but just consider this case. Without these three, these will not be there. And if any one of these has the wrong information, then these will get affected. Let's say customer updated the wrong address, then shipping and delivery will get affected. Till invoice, it won't be any have issue because they won't validate the address. And if customer updated the wrong mobile number, address is correct, but maybe due to some issues, the delivery agent cannot be able to find out the address. They try to contact the customer on their mobile, but the mobile number was incorrectly updated, maybe some typo. So likewise, it's not only the seller, even though if customer has some wrong address maintained, that impacts the transaction. Okay, so seller details, customer mobile, whatever is having the data issue, that has the final impact on the transactions. Now, here, which data we frequently see the updates? Seller, let's say seller registered with Amazon. So they don't go and update their data daily. Their first name, last name, mobile number. They don't get update that, not that regularly. So maybe if they found some issue or some error in the data, they may go and correct that. Similarly, the customer. I don't go and update my shipping address, billing address that regularly. I don't update my mobile number frequently. I don't update my email address frequently. Only when I found some issue. Same for mobile also. If they found some error like earlier case, the pricing or color, then only they go and update the mobile data. Simple. But here the transactions keep getting uh, updated. Okay, there will be lot of sales orders generated for the same product. There would be lot of POs generated for the same product, invoices, shipping, delivery, confirmation, everything. So here, whatever the data that is the core, without this data, there is no business. This is the core data. If this core data has errors, then that has a huge impact on the business, of course, based on where the data error occurs. And we don't maintain this or we don't update this data very frequently, just on need basis. So this is called as master data. The core data for any business, you take any business in the world, the core data for them is the master data. Obviously, when we say business, definitely there are customers. Take any industry, can be a retail or fashion or oil industry or even medical industry, also hospitals are, and everyone will be having the sellers, obviously. Okay, so they would be having product in different forms. Hospitals are having their product in the form of treatment. Education industry has their product in the form of courses. Okay, retail, they have various products based on the type of the retail industry. So you take any business, there will be customer, seller, and their products. That differs. And out of that, they make the transactions in different formats. So that is the core of the business. And for this entire business, the master data is the core data. Without master data, you can't imagine of any business. So it can be a material or a customer or supplier, or for financials, they might be having the cost centers, profit centers. And if there is a manufacturing, they would be having the equipments, function locations, or if they are into that installation point, whatever it might be. Different master data. HR is also the master data. Employee, you must be working at some organization. You would be having your employee data like employee ID, first name, last name, age, date of birth, gender, contact number, email address. That is your master data. Whether you are a trainee or associate or assistant or manager or senior manager or a director, even if you are a CEO, you would be having your own master data maintained at your organization. If you enter some wrong details or may update some wrong details on your employee record, then that would affect on your job. Of course, the severity differs from what was wrongly updated by you. If you update wrongly your employment history, that directly affects your job because your BG will get failed. If you just update your blood group wrongly, that doesn't have any impact on your job. Just the HR people will contact you to correct that. Simple. So in your case also, the severity differs from scenario to scenario. Okay. So here the the data which is very core for any business and which is not subjected to the frequent changes is called as master data. This mostly we create once and maintain on need basis. And the data that is subjected to the frequent changes and which is not independent, but which is dependent on master data is called as transactional data. So to avoid the master data challenges, there can be different challenges in the industry by master data. Like there might be duplicate data if it is a big organization. Let's say there is an organization which spread across various countries over the globe. If they have the central data maintenance repository, then it's fine. If they don't have that one, then there are high possibilities that data duplicates can occur. Maybe if the same customer is purchasing from different plants or whatever, so each plant must be maintaining their own data. Or also if they don't have the control over the duplicate data, there is a possibility that the same data record can get created again. Because if you take a customer first name, last name, these are not the primary key fields. Customer ID is the key field. If I again enter the same customer details, a new ID will get generated. The framework won't validate whether the first name, last name are same or not. That kind of provision is not there. We have to do the custom build. So likewise, there is a possibility of the duplicate data and the redundant data, okay, and the inconsistent data. If the customer data is maintained at plant one and also maintained at plant two, but both plants have different contact numbers or addresses for the same customer, then that is inconsistent. So on a whole, when there are these kind of errors that would affect the data transactions, and obviously whoever there at the high level, those people are responsible. Maybe most of the businesses once in a quarter they announce their profits and everything. Okay, they might need to announce that we are into so and so losses, something like that. So that would affect the higher level people, obviously. And if the say business continues continually getting the losses into that, maybe they may shut down their business, and that would affect the employees. Okay, they might need to lose their jobs. So that's why we have to be very careful while maintaining the master data in the system. And there are other master data maintenance tools also in the market. We'll see all the other tools and the differences, everything in the regular sessions. And SAP introduced a new tool called MDG, Master Data Governance, governing the master data. How you can take the control over the master data. How you can make the master data more reliable, more consistent. So MDG deals with that. How it deals with? There are various other techniques in MDG. Like for example, one of the examples I told you, duplicate data creation, right? So in MDG, we can configure the duplicate check. There is one concept called duplicate check. What it does is, we define the criteria in the system in such a way that while users are maintaining this customer record, please check whether the customer first name, last name, contact number, country, postal code, city, all these are same or not. I'm giving an example. So if these all are same, then inform to the user there is already one customer exists in the system with the same details. Do you still want to create a new customer with the same details, or do you want to go ahead with the existing customer in our database? So that here we are controlling the duplicate data creation, reducing the data redundancy, reducing the duplicate records in the system. That is one of the capabilities of MDG. Another capability, proper validations to the master data. If you take one example of your bank loan process, let's say you need around maybe 70 lakhs or 80 lakhs for your house construction. So you apply it for a home loan, and as soon as you apply for the home loan, you won't get the amount disbursed immediately, right? It would go to the financial validation first. They check your CIBIL score and employment and your salary, your past credibility, your everything, transactions history and everything. So they do check all those things and they calculate your eligibility, whether you are really eligible for 70 lakhs or 80 lakhs, or maybe if you are eligible only for the 20 lakhs or 25 lakhs. So according to your eligibility, they inform to you. Then they go for the physical verification, whether this person really exists or not. And they go for the property verification. That goes for different stages. And if the property is genuine and all are approved and everything is uh, clear, then they send it to the next level approval, maybe the manager. So manager validates all these things and he grants the loan of around, maybe let's say you are eligible for 40 lakhs, 40 lakhs. And rest you need to pay out of your pockets, obviously. So now these 40 lakhs also won't be disposed into your account immediately unless it is already constructed one, ready to occupy or resale one. If it is under construction, they release the funds to the builder stage by stage. Okay, the amount will be released in stage by stage. Stage one, this much, stage two, this much, likewise, based on the bill flat progress. So here, the process is streamlined. After undergoing certain levels of approvals, then only the actual amount disbursement is happening. Similar kind of thing we also implement in MDG. Don't get the master data into the system as soon as it is created or changed. Let it go under certain levels of approvals. Maybe the planning reviewer or logistics reviewer or finance reviewer or master data steward or master data manager, whoever it might be. If I am the user who wants to create some material, I initiate the material creation process and send it to the next level approval. That person validates whether the data entered by me as per the business requirement. Because business used to communicate to the master data team with the mail saying that, hey, go and create a material with this information. So the next level approval may be approver may be validating whether the material creation is as per the business requirement or not. They validate all those things. It can be different levels of approvals, 2 levels or 3 levels, depends on the complexity of the business process and their org structure and everything. That differs from client to client. We'll see all those things, how to improve, how to implement all those things. So this is one of the capabilities of MDG. This we call it as governance process and also reusability. There are various uh, utilities or APIs delivered by SAP and the solutions, the standard solutions can be reused and we can enhance that as per the client requirement. Okay, so likewise, there are various capabilities in MDG which made MDG as one of the industry leading governance tools for master data. And SAP delivered various master data solutions for material master, business partner, which includes the customer and supplier, and financial master data, which includes uh, the jail account, cost center, profit center, everything. and there are SAP partners, solution extension partners. We'll see that in detail in the regular classes. We don't have that much time. So SAP delivered various master data. In addition to that, if any business, any client want to govern any custom master data, okay, that can also be built in the system with the help of the reusable components delivered by SAP for governing any uncovered master data in MDG. So that's a overall idea about like what is a master data, what is a transactional data, what are the various type of challenges that we can see in master data in a various industries, and what are the capabilities of MDG to overcome these things, and what kind of solutions delivered by SAP for master data. It's just a high level understanding to give you some picture about what is master data and what is MDG. So in regular sessions, we are going to deep dive the same concept in a sequence. Still, there is a deep dive required into all the areas, whatever I told just now. It was just a high level of overview. So before getting into the course curriculum and the course structure, everything, any questions on this particular concept from anyone? I will discuss about the scope and prerequisites, the timings, the course content, everything. So I assume there is no questions in this.
Venkat, I would like to ask one question.
Yeah.
Venkat, so I'm just trying to understand. Yeah, SAP MDG is a product that came from SAP, but when we have an organization, we might be using different applications or software that come from different vendors. For example, maybe I'm using JD Edward or Oracle EBS or Microsoft Dynamics or any other different kind of applications. Now, in that case, I would purchase a master data governance, and it is the central point for my controlling of all my master data across applications. That is how I should build my data design or data plan for an organization, right? So if that is the case, will SAP MDG not just accommodate the SAP architecture of material vendor and customer, the structure of SAP tables, Mara, Marcy, or whatever it is, right? So if I have to adapt to the JD Edward application structure, if I have to adapt to Microsoft and architecture, right? Can this tool be adaptable for other kind of applications and get along with the SAP application, which is S4HANA or ECC, and then maintain the data in a very good way and consistently provide data to other third-party applications which help the business to run?
Yeah, a good question. So maybe I might myself missed that point to cover. So one more strongest capabilities of MDG is the integration. So MDG can be integrated with both SAP and non-SAP environments. So as long as that non-SAP environment supports to communicate with SAP environment. So for example, we do have organization. It's not like every organization, as you said, must be having SAP business systems in place. They must be having Oracle system or some EMDB or some other systems in place, non-SAP environments, which are already being used by the business teams for various operations. Now, if they want to govern the master data, they want to centralize their master data using MDG tool. So our MDG should support governing the other non-SAP systems master data as well. If that is not capable of doing that, then there is no meaning like converting the existing business systems, everything into either ECC or S4HANA. It doesn't make sense. So here, MDG supports that kind of integration. And one more important thing is, so whatever the business system that would like to integrate with MDG, which is SAP tool only, let me make it SAP. So whichever would like to integrate with SAP MDG environment, that should also support that kind of integration. Like it can be communicating either via server service or through PI using some IDOCs or through some REST services or whatever it might be. Whatever the communication channel, the integration should be supported by the both the ends. So here in this case, what we do is usually when we want to integrate our MDG with other environments, the other environments, when I say it can be SAP or non-SAP. So when we talk about the centralized master data, let's say for example, there is a customer. So the customer should not have various information at different environments. The customer general data should be unique across all. First name should not differ, last name should not differ, contact name should not differ, address should not differ, email address, whatever it might be. It should not differ across other environments. Maybe the purchasing sales org details, all those things can be differed. If you take supplier, maybe the company code purchase org details might be different, but the general data should not differ across all the environments. So for that scenario, if we are having the integrated case, what usually we do is first we extract all the required master data from all the environments. It can be SAP or non-SAP. So in this kind of situations, mostly the data migration projects also would be involved. The migration team would take care of this one. So they collect all the data from all the environments and they do the transformations and cleansing activities and they load the data into the MDG environment. And we stop making the business master data changes directly into the other systems, SAP or non-SAP, because we are going to implement MDG. MDG would be our single source of truth for all the master data process. And once the other systems data is loaded into MDG, then we govern that data and we replicate that data back to the other systems because the transactions would happen at the business systems level, not at MDG level. MDG only for master data. So that kind of integration supports by MDG. So in this overall process, there are different stages. One is initial load, loading the data of the required business systems into MDG. Once initial load is done, then govern the master data. So make the changes as per the business requirement on the master data and replicate the data back to the respective systems. When I say respective systems, let's say there are three materials, 100, 200, 300. Whether whether there are three materials, all materials may not belong to the same business system. 100 can be business system one, 200 can be other, and 300 can be other. But while we are replicating that data back to the respective business system, we need to properly replicate. So that kind of replication also available in MDG. For this, we call something called key mapping, filters, these kind of things. So yes, integration supported in MDG, considering both the ends, the connectivity can be established. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, Venkat. One more follow-up
Thank you.
question. So we have this data protection laws across the world coming up, and especially these GDPR rules and regulations for the maintenance of master data. Right? Every time, what happens? The data, when created in the master data governance, gets feeded into external third-party applications at a longer run, and then they will be consuming at their individual BI applications or data warehouses, and then the reports and so on. Right. So now, do we have the control at MDG level? How do we stop or where this data is getting used, or where the data, how to control the data to which person, which people, at what level? Because I know at MDG level we can control that by having the governance hierarchy and so on. But how is that data getting controlled when it is even getting passed out to the third party application? Because according to GDPR rules, The data should not be given to the wrong person at the wrong time, or it should not be given access to a certain period. If it is required to be accessed for a certain period, then it should be available for that certain period or a certain length of information, right? So now, is that kind of a control or a mechanism do we have? I mean, data lineage control is there in MDG?
Yeah, I understood your question. Yeah, in MDG, we do have the authorization controls. So let's say there are various business teams. So everyone may not get the control to handle the master data. Well, let's say I belongs to the manufacturing team, production team. So I don't create the customer, suppliers, or financial transactions. I am responsible for the material maintenance. Now I get the authorizations to maintain only the material master data. So that can be controlled by the authorization roles at MDG. So at MDG, let's say, as I said, there is a governance process, like different levels of approvals will be there, and the initiator who start the master data process. Okay, different people get the different authorizations. Like if you take the approver won't get any access to modify the data. Only the initial person, initiator, we call it as requester. Only the requester gets the authorization to maintain the master data. And we also have the control in MDG line. Let's say there are various sections. Like if you take a business partner, general data, address data, bank information, contact information, company codes, or suppliers, or customers information. Now, let's say a client requirement is like the requester, whoever is there, they should not be able to modify any bank information, and they should not be able to see the bank data. There might be some master data manager who can only be able to maintain the bank information for the business partner, can be a customer or supplier, and whatever the data maintained by that person should not be able to see or edit by other people. So that kind of control also we can do this, but everything cannot be through the configuration. There are some possibilities where we need to implement some business logic also in the background. But we do have this kind of controls in the MDG.
Venkat, my question is precisely not at the MDG level. Once the master data is created and managed there, and it gets passed to the third-party applications, right? Whether different non-SAP applications as well as SAP applications. Once the data goes there, and if you have to, because at the end of the day, you created and you, in your server, you
See,
will have control.
once the data goes to there, that is not in the control of MDG. That should be taken care by those teams. They are the responsible people, right? So till the data gets sent to that team, that system, we have the control here. Once that is gone there, we don't have the control. They have to take care of that.
I get the point. So,
Got
I
my
mean,
point.
this functionality is not available in MDG. So, do you know that any other industry-leading MDG or data management solutions have this kind of a functionality, or it's not available in the market yet?
So,
Venkat, following to
as
that
per
question,
my
I think
knowledge,
there is
there is
another
nothing
question.
because.
Sorry, is my voice audible?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, following to that question, there is one more point which I have. And also I see that the market for this is like around like 30% or 20% in the market, how much capture it has right now. Because I see that every major players in the market, they have all these master data management nowadays, right? So if the reverse
Correct.
engineering, once we push our data from master data to the entire other applications or third-party applications, wherein within the organization or outside the organization. So how the control will be taken back. I mean to say, like, how the data would be impacting all these kind of things, like,
See, coming to both your questions. So here in MDG, we do have the control till we replicate our data to the other systems. Like we can control which data to be replicated to which system. But once we send that one to the other system, then we cannot control like how those systems should behave. that they have to have their own compliance and they have to have their own principles, how they want to use their systems. As an MDG system, MDG, we cannot control how the business should use that master data. They have to have the control over that. And if in case if they want to send the data back from their system to MDG, that is also possible using various communication channels, like they can use IDOCs via PA medium or some other third party tools, integration tools, or they can use the SOA services or the REST services or whatever it might be. That kind of communication also possible. It's just like SAP to non-SAP, non-SAP to SAP communication in a general word.
Okay.
I hope
maybe
I answered.
maybe this can be kept this way, right, Venkat? So we can expect the response at least, right? Whether it's been transmitted to the third-party system or
Yes,
not.
yes, response can be expected. We
Correct.
can
But the
configure that.
way the data being used in the third party is not in our control. Correct.
Exactly, exactly. Because let's say you ordered
Because
some product, it delivered to you, how you used it, the
Correct.
seller cannot control that, right?
yeah, this
Exactly.
question raised because we are trying to reverse engineer, because we are trying to correct the sources, whatever we got it, right? From wherever the data we got it and we pushed it into the MDG. From MDG again, we are trying to recorrect every application with this master data, right? So that's where this question is coming up. That's why.
Yeah, I understand your question completely. I agree to that. I'm not denying that. But as a capability point of view, we cannot control how the business to use that master data. But what data they have to use, that we can control. Got my point?
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. I think there are some data lineage tools which can connect across multiple systems and understand where exactly the data is there and how is it getting used. But maybe the functionality is not in MDG. That's what
Yeah,
I'm trying
that
to
is
confirm.
not available in MDG. Yeah, there might be some tools even. I also may not aware of that much. What are the various data lineage tools to control how the business transaction should happen? Maybe I might
Yeah.
explore that also. Thank you. Okay, now getting
Thanks,
into the
Venkat.
course curriculum. Yeah, I'll take up the questions because it's out of time. So we divided entire the course into different units. I'll just go at high level what we are going to cover because you may not be able to understand each and everything. First, we will start with the introduction to MDG. What is MDG and what are the architecture components and what kind of deployments would you have in MDG? What kind of data can be maintained and what are the business processes that can be achieved in MDG on master data? And baseline configuration, it's the core one, like how you can set up the brand new system or or a new system from the scratch. Like let's say you purchased a mobile or a laptop, you cannot directly use it, right? You have to do the initial setup, initial configuration. Similarly, let's say you got a new system, SAP system, be it an ECC or S4HANA. So how you can get MDG running in that system? For that, what are the configuration required? And it cannot be done by a single team, obviously. Various teams has to get involved. So what kind of teams are involved and what are the responsibilities of each and every team? Everything we are going to discuss here. And the data modeling. So whatever the master data it can be, we have to model the data. We have to design. We have to structureize the data. Like let's say if you take a material has various data like general data, plan data, storage location, valuation, costing, planning, all those things. If you take employers, employee has various details, general data, address details, contact details, employment history, educational history, certifications, whatever it might be. So everything we cannot define in a single table, right? We'll segregate that into different tables and define the relationships among them. Similarly, here also we structurize master data and we call it as data modeling. So if there is something wrongly structurized here in the data model, that would affect the entire operation, master data operation. This is the base, heart of entire MDG. Service mapping tool. So if we want to send the data from one format to another format. Okay, in MDG data model, the data format can be data format in the sense the once the structures are defined, the data has to send to some back tables. The source and targets are of different formats. I'm just giving one example. So how you can map these things without uh, having the huge coding. Okay, that kind of automation can be done using the service mapping tool, and also it has a lot of other capabilities. Data quality and check, one of the core principles of MDG to improve the data quality and to incorporate the proper validations on the master data and the duplicate checks. So everything we will be discussing here. UI modeling. So though you build the system very strongly and you implemented so many things, if the proper UI is not there, then it is of no use. Like you want to Google something. If you don't have the browser or any relevant application, how can you Google something? If I don't have this PPT application, how can I present this content? So UI is very important for anything. So what kind of UI techniques we do have in MDG, and what is more applicable for MDG, and what are the standard UI applications? And we'll have a walkthrough of the standard UIs because the navigations are very important, whatever you want to perform, and how we can enhance every topic, whatever you take, data modeling or SMT or UI modeling or whatever. This is the sequence that we are going to discuss. We'll understand the theoretical thing first. Then we'll have a walkthrough of the standard processes, standard applications, and we'll build some custom things, and we'll enhance the standard things. In between, there will be assignments and everything. So mostly we follow this sequence for any topic. And process modeling, I told you governance process is also one of the core principles of MDG, right? So that entire governance process is discussed in this chapter. Process modeling, which is the biggest unit in the entire MDG. It itself takes a lot of scenarios. Okay, the 7 doesn't take much time, and 8 to 16 these take much time. We have the rule-based workflow, I think, with the BRF plus, and we do have the dynamic agent selection, parallel workflow, parallel change request, follow-up CS. Likewise, so many things are there. Each one itself takes around 3 to 4 days for understanding the requirement, for the configuration, build, testing, and everything takes time. Data replication, when we have the SAP and non-SAP systems, what kind of replications mechanisms are available, how we replicate, okay, while replicating, what are the various channels available like IDOC, SOA service or whatever, and how we can control the replication using the filters. If you want to send the company code data to so-and-so systems, irrelevant system, because they misuse that one. So we have to have the proper control over that. So all those things we'll discuss in the replication. And troubleshoot in case of replication failures. How we know whether the data replicated successfully or not. One of you asked like the acknowledgements. So the acknowledgements also required for that. So all those things we'll be discussing here. And data import framework, this is one of the data loading techniques in MDG. This is an inbuilt tool in MDG. We have the data in the format of a file, and that can be loaded into MDG. And extending MDG standard features, as you know, no customer in the globe, or let me put it, most of the customers don't go as is by the standard functionality. They customize that as per their business need. There might be having some custom attributes or custom business rules or custom process defined, custom controls they might need. Can be anything. Mostly the standard would be enhanced. Now we need to see what kind of enhancements are supported in MDG also. It can be a data model enhancement or SMT or UI or workflows or the business rules, whatever it might be. Everything we are discussing, we'll be discussing in this extensibility chapter. And analytics and monitoring. So end of the day, we need to know how many master data are processed, like how many materials created, how many business partners changed, how many GLs are approved, how many cost centers are created, how many profit centers are in progress. So there are some standard reports, how many got SLA breached, how many are waiting for confirmation, how many are cancelled, how many rejected, how many completed. Okay, when I say how many changes. So everything we can get in the form of the reports. The standard reports are there, the Fiori applications are there, as well as non-Fiori applications also there. So we'll see what are the standard things available and how we can configure all those things. And Fiori user experience. So in MDG, we have two kinds of UI applications. One is NWBC, NetWeaver Business Client, which developed in WebDev and FPM. And another we do have Fiori using the UFA language. So you no need to know complete Fiori to understand what are the roles and how you can customize a Fiori launchpad with custom catalog and groups. That also I will explain you. Even if you don't know the Fiori, that's fine. We are not going to build any custom application. If there are any custom application needed, that will be taken care by Fiori team in real time. Yeah, MDG consultant responsible only for the customization of the catalogs, groups, and tiles only. Nothing much. And mass processing. So there are various techniques available in MDG for the mass changes, MOP file upload, mass change, and one more DAF we had seen earlier. Okay, using these tools, we can do the mass operations. We'll see what are the pros and cons and what is recommended, what is not recommended. And there is one more tool introduced by SAP for mass processing and consolidation. We call it as MDC, master data consolidation. So that is itself is a separate tool, is even the DQM, data quality management. So I will give you a walkthrough of these two tools, how the tool looks like and what are the configuration required. And I will show you one scenario end to end in both the cases. And finally, the project activities, what types of projects we can expect in MDG, and what are the roles and responsibilities of technical, functional, techno-functional consultants, and what kind of project activities that you are going to perform, and what kind of documentation you are going to work on. So you'd be working on functional, technical spec and BRDs, test scripts, system design documents, and the coding standards documents, whatever it might be. So I'll take some generic template and will show you the document, how it is going to be. Of course, that may not be the same template being used by all the clients. They have their own templates, but at least you need to have some idea to explain in an interview like, okay, in our project, we have used this kind of template. No one is going to ask you why you have used only this template, why you didn't use that template, nothing like that, because that is client specific or project specific. No one should question that. They should not define how our client should work or what document our client should follow. We do have our own format, right? Simple. Just we need to go with the standard, simple. Okay, that is the course curriculum. So from the course curriculum point of view, if you have any questions, you can ask. Now, this is the latest MDG certification, CMDG 1909. So we'll be giving you the required assistance, like how you can get the certification and what is the starting point and what kind of subscriptions available. And we do have some preparation plan and a mock test also, and how you can schedule the exam and how you can start and post exam, what are the activities that you need to do. Most of you might be aware of all the certification process. The same process you need to follow for MDG also. There is nothing difference. Only the thing is you just need to go with the correct subscription and all. So if anyone require, yes, we do have the dump also. Of course, that is unofficial, as you all know. But before getting into the certification, learn the subject first, because even if you are certified using some dump or anything, if you don't know the subject, then that is of no use, zero usage. If you have the good knowledge, if you understand the subject well, then if you do the certification maybe using dump or something, at least that has some value. Okay, whether you get the training through me or some other trainer, it doesn't matter. Okay, this applies for any case. Without the knowledge, don't get into the certification. I see few people, first they want to get into the certification. They project as certified consultant and they apply for the job, and in interviews, they can't tell anything. If we ask directly, you are certified, but you are not answering the simple questions. For that also, they don't have any answer. I saw few people who disconnect the call also, just saying that network issues or something. Okay, so my suggestion is don't get into that situation. Learn the subject, then only do the certification. Without having the subject or proper knowledge, don't claim yourself as a certified consultant. Yeah, that's my advice. And these are the few highlights of our training. So I had the solid experience, and the training is going to be real-time oriented. I cannot say 100% because of the training server limitations. Okay, 70 to 75% of the cases, I take the real-time scenarios practically to show you. But in few scenarios, I may not be able to show you the things practically because we do have the training server. It has some limitations. Like for example, if you want to expect more integrations or integration scenarios, we don't have that many systems. So I may not be able to show you practically, but I can walk you through the project documents, which I do get from my project's environment. Of course, I had the confidential information and everything. Okay, and in-depth explanation of concepts. So I try to explain each concept as much detailed as possible. Okay, and topic-wise assignments and quizzes. Once the topic is completed, so we'll provide you the assignment, and just to test your knowledge, there will be one or two quizzes assigned to that topic also. And study materials, I'll be providing you both the SAP materials and my own materials. For few scenarios, SAP materials are sufficient. They are very clear and neatly explained. No need to depend on any other topics, other materials. But for few of the scenarios, yeah, I have my own materials. I will share them also. Interview questions. So I have few interview questions from my experience. I will share them also. But that interview questions are only to assess your knowledge or for you to know how the questions are going to be framed. It's not like by hearting these questions and getting into the interview and later asking, you cannot ask me like, okay, Ankit, I prepared these interview questions, but that interviewer did not ask these questions. So it won't be like that. So every interviewer has their own strategy and they may have different questions. This is just to test your knowledge, nothing much. And mock interviews, resume preparation, yes. So once the 70 to 80% of the course is completed, we'll be conducting the mock interviews. There will be two things like group interview and one-on-one interview. I will announce the schedule. So based on your interest, you can attend that. There is no compulsion in that. And I will assist you in preparing your resume as per the experience you want to project and everything. Google Classroom, our learning platform. I will shortly walk you through that. And we do get the server access S4HANA 2022. I'm trying to get the 2023 latest server also, but it might take time. But There are not much differences, just the functionality, but not the core way how we implement MDG. Till the course last date, you will be having the server access. Post that, if you want to get the server access, I will share you the contact. You can contact the person. And the learning platform, Google Classroom and Google quiz forms will be used for conducting the quizzes, and for getting the feedback, we'll be use the Google feedback forms. Prerequisites to learning MDG that I will come at the end. Before that, I will walk you through the Google Classroom learning platform. So this is the Google Classroom. This is the admin view. You won't get access to all these. You won't get access to all these things. So you'll get access to your classroom, October 2024. I'll just give you a look how it looks like. So this is the home tab, stream tab. If there are any important announcements, everything will be here. The meeting links, and if you have any assignments or quizzes to due, or if we do have any holidays, everything important announcements, everything will be here. And classwork, where you can see your course content and everything. So there are some ABAP reference videos I have posted for those who don't have ABAP knowledge, and add-on sessions. So if I cover any topic apart from MDG, like if the people are from non-SAP background, I might conduct some introduction to SAP session, maybe on the weekend. So that kind of add-on sessions will be included here. And if you have any assignments are included here. Baseline configuration. So the system setup videos are there. So I will walk you through that, but since we don't get any new system, I recorded while I was setting up the new system. So I upload those recordings here. Also, I will walk you through in the system also. Case studies. So few case studies are available. Recently started this particular thing, case studies. I'm still working on other areas. So whatever possible, I will try to provide that. Certification. So like I said, certification guidance and latest dump and mock interview. Uh, certification mock test, everything are available here. Class notes. So daily class notes we prepare during the class, that is uploaded here. Class recordings, day-to-day class recordings are uploaded. So it was a 7 to 8 time, right? So mostly by afternoon, you get the class recording available here. This is the only part non-downloadable, but everything else you can download except this class recordings. Course curriculum, whatever I had shown you just now, the PPT, that is uploaded here. Daily agenda. So when we have the daily topics, so on so and so date, what are the topics we covered? On so and so date, what are the topics we covered? Everything is detailed mentioned here. Doubts clarification session, maybe mostly once in a month or once in 2-3 weeks. I used to conduct the weekend class for clarifying all your doubts, maybe on the regular topics or any other thing, etc. Because everyone may not be able to answer everything in the regular classes. So while watching the videos, you must have got many doubts from the previous sessions also. So everything will be clarified here. External materials, those who don't have the prerequisites, MMBP finance, I upload the references here. You may go through that. Interview questions, mock interviews, whatever conducted, that will be uploaded here. Group interview recording will be uploaded. One-on-one interview will be uploaded only after your consent. Quizzes, reference resumes for technical, functional, and techno-functional. And once you get the server access, your server access details will be available here. Specification documents like the project documents will be available here. And finally, the study materials. And you can see your fellow students, the names only you can see. You cannot see their email number, email name, or contact, nothing. Grades. So for quizzes and assignments, grades will be assigned. And based on that, you can see who is having the highest grade and everything. So this is the learning platform. You get the access, and this access will be for 1 year dedicated to your batch. after 1 year, your access will be migrated to the common classroom SAP MDG by Venkat. So this is the common classroom where you can see people from different batches. They may get into this or based on their interest. So here you see all the sessions, everything is included. So in the common classroom, you see around 159 videos are there. It's not everything is 1 hour. I just segregated the topics, entire recordings into different topics. Okay, this common classroom has one advantage, like I said, total I completed 10 batches so far, right? So out of all the 10 batches, I may not cover the same topic in the same way for all the batches. In one batch, it may be not that good. In one batch, it might be the best. And in one batch, I might cover one scenario material. In one batch, I might cover BP. In one batch, I might cover finance for the topic. Let's say workflow. So if I consolidate these 3 batches for the same workflow scenario, I have material, BP, finance. So I merge, I include those 3 into this common classroom. So this common classroom has almost all the possible cases and the best of my all the sessions in all the batches. It's not like only the latest batch videos or the oldest batch videos, nothing like it. The best of all my lectures. As a lecturer, as a teacher, when I go through my session myself, I can get some level of satisfaction at least for a particular class. Okay, here I have covered this topic pretty well. Or here I have covered more scenarios. So when I feel that, I include them in this classroom. So from your batch also, maybe I might cover few new scenarios. For every batch, I try to add new scenarios which were not covered so far in any of the batches. Okay, whatever new scenarios, whatever the best sessions are there, everything are available in this common classroom. So after 1 year of your classroom access, your access will be migrated to this one. And this is the lifetime access, SAP MDG Venkat. Because the batches are keep growing, it is hard to maintain the storage and everything, right? So that's why the dedicated classroom access is 1 year and the common classroom access is for lifetime. Okay, that is the plan of the classroom. And you will get access to your Gmail account or any other email account. One person can get only one email account access. Okay, there will be one code also. You cannot be even able to log in with other email address. That you have to be careful. That is our learning platform. And coming to the prerequisites, so it depends on like whether you want to be technical or functional or techno-functional. If you want to be a technical consultant, you need to have these above skills. And if you want to be a functional, you need to have either of these domains knowledge along with the configuration knowledge and everything. And of course, if you want to be a techno-functional, you need to have all. So complete ABAP is not required. Some of the ABAP areas are required. So like I said, in the classroom itself, I already updated the ABAP reference videos and all these things. So if anyone don't have the prerequisite knowledge, but you want to be a MDG consultant, so you can reach out to me if you are directly through my reference, or you can reach out through your institutional partner. They will connect with me and I will share you the references. So before our course starts, you might start learning them. At least you get some idea. Okay. So during the entire course, you need to be focused on these skills also. If you are lacking any of these, if you want to be a technical but not a functional, you don't need to learn in-depth knowledge or in-depth about MM. If you have that knowledge, yes, that is very well added advantage for you, but it's not mandatory for you. Similarly, if you want to be a functional, you don't need to have in-depth knowledge of ABAP. If you have basics, that is fine. So just based on your role of interest, you need to choose the proper skill here. Okay. And some frequently asked questions. So should I have the prerequisite skills? So I advise you should have But still, if you don't have, and if you are very much interested in getting into SAP or MDG, so my suggestion is try to gain the prerequisite skills as our course is progressing. So by the end of the course, you should be able to have both the skills. And whether you can be able to work in the real-time project after the course completion. So as a trainer, my efforts would be 40 to 50%, and the remaining efforts are yours. If I explain all the topics clearly, I also might miss something. Okay. But I try to cover as much, or I try to put as much as efforts I can. If if you don't practice, if you don't learn well, and if you are not punctual, then even if I take this course for 3.5 to 4 months, if you don't put your efforts, then that is of no use. So equal efforts are required, because end of the day, you are the one who is going to work in the project. I'm already uh, having a job in good company and working in a good project in a good environment. I don't need any good project, any new project. It's important for you. So just pay attention towards that. I cannot assure you whether you can be able to work in the real-time project or not, because I don't know whether you put good efforts or not. But if you are putting the good efforts, and if you're learning MDG as I directed, but I can give you the confidence that you can be able to confidently work in the project. So the environment can be different, definitely. So initially you might face some struggle, obviously, because you would be interacting with different client teams and different people. So initially there will be some hiccups. That is for sure. So I'm being transparent. But work-wise in the MDG system, what we are learning here, the same way we are going to work in the real time. That I can assure you. And practicing, yes, you get the server access. And which version? Version is 2022 as of now. We'll try to upgrade to 2023. But functionality wise, there are minimal differences. But how we are going to implement everything, that remains same. Google Classroom, I just told you the access. And once you enroll to the training, so you will get my contact number. You can reach out to me during this time whenever you have any doubts or whenever you need some help or anything. Okay, that's it. So the regular classes will start from 24th September. The timings are from 7 to 8. So if there are any adjustments here, we'll update you in advance. But as of now, this is the tentative date. And the timings are 7 to 8 in the morning. The duration would be around 3.5 to 4 months. So I don't want to compromise on the duration, even though few people feel that it is more, because I want to cover as much as concepts possible, as much as depth possible. Okay, that's why our course is a little bigger one. That's about the today's demo. So if you have any questions, you can ask me now.
Thanks, Venkat, for a very structured curriculum, and the way you have portrayed it is really good and promising.
Yeah,
But
thank
one
you.
thing, while you are saying that your case studies you just started, that's a really good thing. But for us to practice, right? Maybe you have completed one topic and we do some practice. Maybe we don't know how to create a certain scenario or a process, or maybe data replication framework, whatever you're saying. If you could create a certain case and give it as an assignment for us, then we get the real time practice as well, and we can refer back something what you have already made in the system, so that it helps us to do the practice. I think that is something, I don't know if you have already created, but that would really help us when we are really practicing.
Yeah, that's a good point. I prepare the case studies in such a way that that is reflecting the real-time scenario, the project scenario,
Mm.
and that covers the concepts we have completed, not the upcoming topics, nothing like that. So using the classes we have completed by referring to the recordings, so you should be able to complete the case study. So that case study would not cover a specific topic. So that is a combination of multiple topics, because in real time, you don't get only a specific topic relevant requirement, nothing like that. It is integrated scenario, right? So the same
Okay.
way here also case studies are prepared.
Okay. Thanks, Venkat.
Any other questions from anyone? Okay,
The
so
fee
if there are,
structure and
yeah,
other structure, Venkat, will be explaining.
sorry,
The fee
come
structure
again.
and other. The fee structure.
Fee structure, if you are directly through my contact, through me, you can talk to me post this session. And if you are through any institution, please talk to your institution partners. I don't want to discuss the fee structures here because different institutes having different fee structures and everything.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, so you just reach out to me, or if you are directly through my point. Okay, and if you are through your institutes, please reach out to your institution partners to enroll for the course. They will guide you on the next process. And if you are through me, I will guide you the next process and everything. See you in the live classes. Thank you. Bye bye.